So first, we'd like to begin by respectfully acknowledging that Mass Poetry and Salem, Mass are on the ancestral territory of the Wampanoag, Nipmuc, Massachusetts, Namkig, and Agawam. Many other Indigenous communities have lived and moved through this land over hundreds of years, and many Indigenous people work and live in these regions today. So let's just take a quick moment to honor these ancestral grounds that we're collectively gathered on and support the resilience and strength that all Indigenous people have shown worldwide. We at Mass Poetry are intentional about ensuring that events are accessible to everyone attending and involved in the festival. And to that end, we have closed captions available for this event. So if you'd like to use those but can't currently see them, you can turn them on now by clicking the live transcript button at the bottom of your Zoom screen and then show subtitles under that menu. If you'd like to turn them off at any point, you can choose hide subtitles. And anyone who is using auto captions today, just a quick note to ensure that chat messages are not popping up over the captioning and covering it. Just click on chat at the bottom of the screen and it will open a chat panel to the right. So you'll be able to see that at the bottom. If you have any trouble with any Zoom logistics, feel free to private message me or Beth Kevlis, either of the two volunteers on this session. We're happy to help. And then finally, just regarding Zoom etiquette, please be sure to keep yourself muted unless you're invited to unmute by the speakers. There are many ways to interact with each other via the chat and the Zoom reactions button, so please feel free to make use of those and to celebrate our poets today. And please be kind and respectful to the event producers and your fellow participants. We will be removing any participants who engage in discriminatory or harassing comments. So please just be kind to one another. And I think that's it. So thank you for your patience and we hope you enjoy the event. And Aidan, I think we're ready to go over to you.
Thank you, Beth. And thank you to JD, Elizabeth and Beth for hosting and volunteering. Welcome to our muted guests. And thank you to Emily Prophet, Eddie, and Dumafis for joining me for translating Haiti. Our essential question this morning is going to be how Haiti is translated, quite literally, how is it carried across? And it's a multi-pronged, two-pronged question, certainly. The diaspora immigrant element, that distance from place. Two of you live outside of Haiti, as many do, and even Emily, who's joining us from Port-au-Prince and lives in Port-au-Prince, has spent considerable time abroad. So how does that inform your writing and your engagement? And then, of course, there's the language element, that distance from the vernacular of the place of Haiti. How does your choice of language, Haitian Kreyòl, French, English, carry a place and the people across authentically to your readership? Does it even matter which language? And finally, I suppose, we're here to explore all that in poetry, but I wanted to talk first to the novelist among us, with you, Emily, who have just published your 6th novel, and you just gave us the great news that your prize-winning novel, an earlier novel, picked up by Amazon, and that's really cool. But we're going to talk about Les Villages de Dieu, the villages of God. And I'm going to just introduce Emily a little bit. She's joining us from Port-au-Prince, where she was born. Emily studied law and literature at Université de Port-au-Prince, communications at Jackson State University, and her work in diplomacy includes service as an attaché at embassies in Haiti and Geneva. Emily has also played important leadership and curatorial roles in everything from jazz music to literary promotion to intellectual property. She served as head of the National Library in Haiti, and her first novel, Le Testament des Solitudes, 2007, is just about to be published in December, I think, in English. And that received the Prix littéraire des Caraïbes from the Association des écrivains de langue française. Emily has published 3 collections of poetry, and we're going to turn to that. But I've been too taken by her latest novel to let that pass. I'm just showing it up to the screen here a little bit. It was published in October 2020, just a few months ago, with Mémoire d'Encrier in Montreal and distributed by Gallimard and Harmonia Mundi Livre in Canada and Europe. And when the book came out just in October, I got into it right away, starting with that instant Kindle version you can order and start talking into right away, and then ending with the wonderful real thing when it came in the slow snail mail of December. It's a remarkable book set in the contemporary cité of Port-au-Prince against a backdrop of insecurity, gang violence, painted in gritty realist mode. And it's the heartrending story of a wonderful character, Sissy, a young woman trying to make sense, trying to survive, trying to make her way in the world. I'm going to share a little extract to get us started. And give me 1 second here.
Je n'avais pas peur. J'étais habitué au bruit des armes. J'ai grandi dans cette cité où jamais il n'y avait eu de trêve, où la mort circulait à midi comme à minuit. Grand-mère était morte il y a 9 mois, de peur. C'était un soir particulièrement difficile d'un dimanche qui avait calmement commencé, jusqu'à ce que la rumeur circule que des gars du gang de Mackinson avaient sifflé sur le passage de la copine d'un des membres influents de celui de Freddy alors qu'elle revenait de l'église. Les deux gangs qui faisaient la loi dans la cité n'étaient jamais à court de provocations mutuelles. Mais il n'y avait jamais eu, jusqu'à ce dimanche soir, d'affrontement direct. Je me rappellerai toujours les yeux exorbités de ma grand-mère, ses mains qui serraient fort mon poignet, et moi qui criais « Grandma, tu me fais mal ». Elle avait dit dans un râle « Cessez, Célia, mon enfant, petite-moi, cessez, je sens que mon cœur va exploser, je vais mourir ». Je dormais dans le même lit que Grandma, depuis toujours. J'ai su tout de suite qu'elle était morte. Elle était devenue raide, froide. Je ne pouvais pas, comme je l'avais toujours fait, mettre ma jambe droite sur elle pour m'endormir. Je m'étais mise à...
Okay, Emily, you still with us?
Yes, I'm here.
So what we just listened to was a wonderful little excerpt recorded by Miak Sansanval. And I wanted at this point to invite Emily to pick up and read for a little bit from Le Village de Dieu. And I will screen share some of that excerpt from the novel. Maybe Emily, you could just read for another minute.
Yes.
Pick up wherever you want.
Fredo n'avait pas donné de nouvelles pendant 12 ans. Pour moi, il n'était que le petit garçon debout à gauche de grand-mère dans la photo de famille. Quand Ma l'évoquait, son regard se perdait dans le vide, comme si elle essayait de l'imaginer dans ce lointain, ce grand pays de justice et d'infinies possibilités. Il n'avait qu'un seul tort, ne pas donner de ses nouvelles à sa mère. Il ne savait même pas qu'il avait une nièce. Nous avons tous besoin d'une famille, disait Ma, avec des trémolos dans la voix. Il ne s'était écoulé un seul jour sans qu'elle ne pense à lui. Je n'avais pas besoin qu'elle en parle pour le savoir. Elle me tournait le dos pour que je n'aperçoive pas ses yeux rougis, sa lèvre inférieure qui tremblait. Avait-il été malade? Avait-il continué à faire du sport? Travaillait-il? S'était-il marié? Était-il mort? Il n'y a que la mort qui pouvait enfoncer les êtres humains dans de tels silences. Elle n'avait certes pas d'adresse, comme presque tous ceux qui habitaient à la cité de la puissance divine, mais plein de gens ici avaient des parents à l'étranger. Ils trouvaient quelqu'un qui revenait au pays, à qui ils confiaient une lettre, quelquefois plus, en expliquant au messager quel corridor emprunter. Et celui-ci se débrouillait pour demander des explications, donner le nom de la personne qu'il cherchait, la décrire à ceux qu'il croisait. Voilà.
Bravo.
Bravo. Well done. Emily, I'm going to read just a little bit from the beginning. and just about 30 seconds or so. I was not afraid. I'd grown used to the sound of guns. I grew up in this cité where there's never been a truce, where death does the rounds at noon, just like at midnight. 9 months now since Grandma died from fear. It was the afternoon of a Sunday that had started out calm until the rumor went around that a few guys in Mackinson's gang had whistled after the girlfriend of an influential member of Freddie's gang as she was walking home from church. The two gangs that laid down the law in the cité were not shy about provoking one another, but there had never been until that afternoon a direct confrontation. I will never forget my grandmother's protruding eyes, her hand squeezing my wrist. "Grandma, you're hurting me," I cried. "Sissy, Celia, my child, my little one," she rattled. "Sissy, I feel as if my heart is going to explode. I'm going to die." I slept in the same bed as Grandma, always had. I knew right away she was dead. She had become stiff, cold. I couldn't, as I always had, put my right leg over her to help fall asleep. I started talking to her and don't remember what I said except for some prayers she had taught me. I could not hear the sound of my own voice. Rapid gunfire ran around me and the racket continued until dawn. I went to wake up Uncle Fredo. The noise I made opening the wooden door and almost breaking the latch did not wake him. He was totally drunk, as usual. I was not able to rouse him and went to knock at my neighbor Soline's house. She agreed to go with me, nudging me along to make me go faster. I was nothing to her but a little liar. How could I pretend that Grandma had died when only yesterday they had been at Mass together and she was doing perfectly fine then? She paused at the doorstep, her big breasts floating in her floral nightdress. Like everyone in the cité, she had not slept. She had dark rings under her eyes. She stepped right over the 4-inch threshold that Grandma had put in between the little porch and the front bedroom entrance so that the water, when it rained, would not come into the house. "She really is dead," I managed to stammer as we entered the room. "Be quiet, petite," she replied, opening her eyes wide. "Krista, Krista," she called out, feeling Grandma's brow and neck before letting out a scream. Tears ran down her round cheeks. I too started to cry before taking up the keening you hear when someone in the cité dies. My neighbor Soline placed her thick, coarse hand over my mouth. "Petite," she whispered, "you're going to wake up Freddie and his men. They're sleeping. They just put themselves to bed. At your age, you should understand these things."
Thank you, Aidan.
Bravo.
Thank you very much, Aidan.
Merci à vous, Emily. C'est à ce moment-là que je vais vous demander de prendre un peu la parole, de parler un petit peu avec nous au sujet, peut-être tout d'abord, au sujet de ce roman. Et c'était le personnage de Cécile qui m'a tellement pris en lisant votre roman. Donc, je voudrais bien que vous répondiez un petit peu à notre question de traduction. Comment est-ce qu'on traduit l'expérience et qu'est-ce que c'est de traduire Haïti pour vous dans votre écriture, Amélie?
Traduire Haïti, c'est d'abord parler de toutes les CC qui habitent ce grand Port-au-Prince, ce petit pays, mais tellement grand dans sa souffrance, dans ses rapports avec le monde. Traduire Haïti, c'est traduire la souffrance des femmes et des hommes qui habitent ces bidonvilles qui s'appellent la cité de la puissance divine. En fait, la cité de la puissance divine, c'est une métaphore de Port-au-Prince, c'est une métaphore d'Haïti aujourd'hui, avec des gangs, un État qui a disparu, parce que c'est ça, aujourd'hui, le problème majeur d'Haïti, c'est que l'État n'existe plus. il a disparu. Donc, il y a des gangs qui font la loi. Nous subissons tous la loi des gangs, qui est celle des kidnappings, des rançons qu'il faut payer même quand on n'a pas l'argent, une ville totalement insalubre, avec beaucoup trop de désespérance. Et c'est ce qu'il faut traduire. Et peu importe la langue que l'on utilise aujourd'hui, évidemment, il y a le créole qui nous unit tous. Nous sommes tous des créolophones, mais cette parole peut être portée par d'autres langues. Et je te remercie encore une fois, Aidan, d'avoir si bien traduit ces premiers paragraphes de Les villages de Dieu. C'est parler des corps vulnérables, parce que CC d'abord, c'est un corps vulnérable. C'est un pays habité par des corps vulnérables. Nous mourons vite, nous mourons beaucoup, et souvent, c'est un peu cliché depuis 2010 particulièrement. Quand on parle d'Haïti, on parle de résilience. Ce n'est pas vrai, nous ne sommes pas résilients, nous sommes combatifs. Il faut faire une différence entre la résilience et la combativité. Nous nous battons pour vivre, nous nous battons pour exister, et même nous ne sommes pas résilients, nous mourrons plus vite que les autres. Donc, il n'y a pas de résilience. Et CC est combative. CC est combative. Le personnage de CC est profondément féministe. Et comme le dit Flaubert de Madame Bovary, Gustave Flaubert, Madame Bovary, c'est moi, c'est ce qu'il dit. Moi, je dis, CC, c'est moi. CC, c'est moi, c'est ce regard très large sur Port-au-Prince, sur mes compatriotes, sur les hommes, sur les femmes. C'est cette manière, mais vraiment, d'habiter son temps et de vivre à tout prix en dépit de tout ce qu'il y a autour qui empêche tout ce qui a été élevé en termes de murs, en termes de préjugés pour nous empêcher de vivre, d'abord comme femmes, comme citoyens de cette grande Amérique, mais aussi comme citoyens du monde. C'est ça aujourd'hui. Elle est féministe, elle est lucide. C'est aussi un personnage extrêmement lucide qui comprend, qui écoute, qui sait presque ce que pensent les autres. Parce que c'est ça l'écrivain aussi aujourd'hui et peut-être de tout temps, sans doute de tout temps, puisque je parlais de Flaubert tout à l'heure, c'est cette façon de pouvoir utiliser ses 5 sens et de pouvoir être visionnaire aussi. C'est-à-dire de comprendre ce que disent, ce que pensent les autres sans qu'il n'ait besoin de l'exprimer tout. Quand CC regarde Jules César, qui est aussi un personnage que j'aime beaucoup dans Les villages de Dieu, et elle comprend ce qui se passe. Elle peut imaginer quelle souffrance il y a derrière la vie de chacune de ces personnes. Il ne s'agit nullement de justifier des criminels, parce que les chefs de gang, ce sont d'abord des criminels. Mais en même temps, il y a moyen de les mettre dans un contexte, et celui du désespoir, par exemple, où il y a plein de jeunes, d'enfants qui grandissent dans les cités et n'ont d'exemple que ces chefs de gang qui deviennent riches très vite. C'est vrai qu'ils meurent très vite, mais ils deviennent riches très vite, et ils sont en quelque sorte des Robins des Bois, des gens qui pillent les autres, qui pillent ceux qui sont un petit peu plus riches et ceux qui sont aussi pauvres qu'eux. C'est un peu la loi du plus fort ou la loi de celui qui est armé. Donc, et voilà, il faut les mettre dans leur contexte pour savoir pourquoi ils prolifèrent et pourquoi depuis plus d'une vingtaine d'années, nous avons tellement de gangs et que les gangs ont de tels succès. Parce que toute la périphérie de Port-au-Prince et même dans les villes de province aujourd'hui, il y a ce phénomène des gangs qui marque aussi, qui est un marqueur très fort de la disparition de l'État haïtien. Aujourd'hui, en Haïti, nous sommes dans une très, très grande désespérance parce que notre vie, et je pense l'avoir raconté dans Un ailleurs à soi, qui est le précédent livre, cette façon de vouloir partir, de vouloir quitter le pays à tout prix parce que la vie est très difficile ici, il n'y a pas de travail, on a besoin de se réaliser, on a besoin d'aller voir ailleurs, et certaines fois, il y en a qui partent parce que, non pas parce qu'ils sont plus pauvres que les autres, parce que parce que les hommes et les femmes ne sont pas faits pour rester en place. Et comme l'Occident proche, les États-Unis, le Canada prennent toutes les dispositions pour empêcher les insulaires que nous sommes, les pauvres que nous sommes de partir, nous avons envie de partir, nous avons besoin de partir parce que l'homme n'est pas enraciné dans la terre. La femme doit partir. Donc, ils partent. Donc voilà, c'est cet Haïti-là, cet Haïti de gens qui partent. Et aujourd'hui, cet Haïti qui est dans le monde et qui constate de ce lieu-là, de ces 27 250 km², qu'il n'y a plus d'Eldorado dans le monde. Il n'y a plus d'Eldorado, c'est-à-dire on ne peut pas, et voilà, nous ne sommes pas dans les années 60 où on pouvait arriver aux États-Unis et se réaliser au Canada. Donc, c'est un monde qui est en difficulté et l'arrivée du coronavirus il y a un petit peu plus d'1 an a encore compliqué les choses qui se sont vraiment compliquées à partir de 2000 quand il y a eu les attentats du 11 septembre aux États-Unis. Donc, il n'y a plus d'Eldorado. Il y a ce mal de vivre généralisé dans lequel nous sommes, mais un peu plus que les autres puisque nous avons la pauvreté, nous avons un système éducatif qui n'existe pas. Donc, il y a très, très peu d'espoir et les Haïtiens qui sont partis dans les années 60 ne sont plus des Haïtiens. Cette troisième génération d'Haïtiens ne se réclament pas forcément haïtiens. Et l'idée qu'ils se font d'Haïti n'est pas forcément juste et réaliste. Parce que l'Haïti d'aujourd'hui, il faut y vivre. Et quand je passe 2 semaines à l'étranger, comme c'était le cas en mars, j'étais au Bénin, l'Haïti que j'entendais, ce n'était pas celle-là que je connaissais. Parce qu'il y a une Haïti dans laquelle je vis, dans laquelle j'évolue. Certes, il y a des jours où j'ai plus peur que d'autres, mais c'est ce pays-là que j'habite et c'est ce pays que j'habiterai jusqu'à ma mort. C'est-à-dire, moi, je n'ai aucun projet de voyage. Je ne vais pas partir pour aller refaire ma vie à l'étranger. Donc, cette Haïti-là, à défaut de pouvoir la changer réellement comme je le souhaite, je l'écris. Donc, j'écris cette Haïti-là, je la dis et j'offre CC au monde parce qu'aujourd'hui, il faut comprendre CC, Célia Jérôme, qui habite dans un bidonville dans la périphérie de Port-au-Prince et qui a envie de vivre et qui invente cette vie-là.
Yeah. Well,
Qui la chronique aussi. Voilà.
Let me just say, bravo, Emily. Let me just thank you so much for giving us that and invoking Flaubert's Emma, because you have given us a really fresh portrait of a young Haitian female protagonist in all of her, as you say, all of her vulnerability, her combativeness, and I'm going to use the word fragile because, as you point out, so often when we talk about Haiti and Haitians, it has become cliche, as you say, but also politically correct to say that Haitians are forever resilient. And it's perhaps time to move away from that. And I think you have said it in some of your interviews. I was in on a table ronde with you in Chicago with OEF, I think it was, and you mentioned that c'est devenu politiquement correct de dire que les Haïtiens sont résilients, mais CC s'avère aussi fragile que résiliente en dépit de son côté entrepreneuse, influenceuse et tout ça. So thank you for giving us such a wonderful novel, and I want to encourage everybody to read it as soon as they can. We are going to turn to one of your poems and then move over to Tonton Guy. So this is a poem from, your second collection of poetry. Let me just screen share here for a little bit. It's a poem called Un jour rappelle-toi from your second collection. And I wondered if you could just read it for us, and then I will read it in English.
Un jour, rappelle-toi cette ville dépecée, entre le bruit, la bêtise et la douleur, on a créé l'infidélité. Le bleu des trottoirs d'un autre continent. La folie est devenue utile. Nous nous appliquons à dessiner des portes de sortie. Depuis tes yeux, le vide est à réinventer. Écoute la prière de nos sexes étouffés par le poids des mots. Le trou de votre blue jean est la seule fenêtre qui donne sur l'espoir. On rêve tous de trottoirs, les cris de notre nudité sont sans issue, comme vos silences.
Wonderful, wonderful. Think back someday.
Bravo.
Thank you.
Think back someday to this dismembered city. Its sounds, squalor and dollar. No one is to blame for betrayal, here or on the blue sidewalk of another continent. Madness serves its purpose. We buckle down and come up with exit strategies. I gather from your eyes, emptiness must be reinvented. Listen to the prayer in our loins, muffled by the heft of words. The hole in your blue jeans is the one window open to hope. Everyone likes a city walk, our cries when we have nothing left, our dead ends, like your silences. What a wonderful little poem. Just give us maybe 20 seconds, 30 seconds about that poem. For me, it just captures that same ville d'épaissé of Port-au-Prince, but it might be something else going on. So please say a couple of things before we move over to Tonton Guy, Emily.
Tonton Guy.
Emily, can you say a few things about that poem just for a second?
Tu veux que je redise, c'est
Oui,
ça?
non, je veux bien que tu parles pendant peut-être 30 secondes au sujet de ce poème.
En fait, ce qu'il faut dire, c'est pas le même état d'esprit que les villages de Dieu.
Oui.
Donc là, en fait, cette ville, je ne sais pas, Aidan et les autres aussi, et je me rends compte, mais on m'a fait la remarque souvent, comment je suis très habitée par Port-au-Prince, cette ville dépecée. On a créé l'infidélité, le bleu d'un autre continent. Moi, je suis fondamentalement port-au-princienne et cette ville me nourrit, on va dire.
Oui.
Cette ville me nourrit dans ses soubresauts, dans son incomplétude, dans sa façon de ne pas être. Donc, et c'est peut-être pour ça aussi que j'y habite. J'ai passé 1 an à l'étranger, j'ai habité en Suisse. Et c'est la première fois peut-être depuis que je me connais comme écrivain, et là j'avais 10-11 ans, c'était la première fois que je passais presque 12 mois sans rien écrire. Donc c'est cette ville qui me nourrit, c'est cette ville qui me donne la matière pour parler, pour dire Haïti, mais aussi pour dire le rapport de chacun de ses habitants, de chacun des habitants d'Haïti avec le monde. Donc, voilà, fondamentalement, port-au-princienne. C'est ce que je suis, et je suis une écrivaine port-au-princienne, et je suis contente de ne pas être la seule à le revendiquer, puisque Lionel Trouillot, qui est un très bon ami, d'ailleurs, c'est lui qui n'arrête pas de faire sonner mon téléphone là, et il revendique aussi cette vie, ce besoin de Port-au-Prince dans son œuvre, dans sa poésie comme dans ses romans.
That's wonderful, and thank you for giving us the portrait once again of Port-au-Prince. I loved in an earlier interview that you gave that French as a language for you is votre butin de guerre, your war building. It has to be.
Oui, on aurait facilement pu dire que c'est de l'haïtien, c'est pas un français de la France, c'est haïtien parce que c'est notre butin de guerre. Nous l'avons gagné, quoi.
Excellent. Thank you so much, Emily.
Thank
We're going to
you,
move on to Eddie. And Eddie Toussaint Tonton Guy is a trilingual poet who grew up also in Port-au-Prince, and he lives in Somerville, Massachusetts. He's editor-in-chief of the important literary journal Tanbou and the publishing house Trilingual Press. Eddie's work in poetry is testimony to his engagement with issues of social justice, primarily. His poetry and critical essays on Haitian Kreyòl are published in Paris with L'Harmattan Press. Like his essays, Tonton Guy's poems are political, shine from lyric self-regard. He believes, like French philosopher Jean-Paul Sartre, that writers cannot live in a vacuum, and regardless of what they might think of the distance their trade affords, they're always in the coup. They're always a part of the struggle for life. And I've asked Tontongi to read Alela, a poem whose imperative voice calls us to action and to better practices in global human engagement. And his original in Haitian was first published in the anthology Open Gate, the first bilingual anthology of Haitian poetry in English, edited and translated by Jack Hirschman, Paul Larac, and Boadiba, and published by Curbstone Press in 2001. It appeared again in Poetry Ireland Review in 2013 in English side-by-side translation. And we're gonna read it in duet before Tontongi addresses his work in translating Haiti, or his theory of reverse anthropology, which you might get to hear, or how he keeps all of that together. So let me just screen share one more time, and we'll give this a go. Poésie en haïtien. So, Tontongi, after you, Alela.
Let me, 10 minutes. I'm going to read it from my copy.
Yes.
I have a hard copy. Alela, kote ou weke ou ap mene ou pou l'patounen yon désert qui séché ak la peine. Pi mal, passe yon poton bou. Alela, même le ou découragé, même le ou fin tourner yon ti salé nan yon festin grand nègre.
You gonna read the whole thing, Tontongi?
Oh, I thought we were going to do it the way we did before. You're going to from.
Okay, let's do that. Go there. Go there where you know yourself you should. Before the sad sack of your heart withers tighter than the skin on a Varoujan. Go there even if you're ticked off at policy, even if you turn to salt at the Who's Who fundraiser feast. You have to go there, brothers, sisters, where nobody gives the destitute the time of day, where no light lights their day with hope. Over to you, Tontongi.
Fok ou ale la, chef frem yo, aksem yo, kote moun kap soufri, pa jam tan de bonjou. Kote pa gen lumière, pou klere jou l'espoir. Ale la, pou bay chale lan moun, pour faire que les gens content dans la vie, pour défier l'injustice avec le mal, il a fait pauvre malheureux sur la terre Sibi. Comme quoi, il n'y a pas de droit pour eux là. Là, nous avons fait bonheur, explonder la vie.
Go there. Bring your zeal to bear on the happiness of other people. Fight and right the wrongs the world's poor endure as if they'd no business being here at all. Here where with plenty the splendor falls.
Faut qu'on aille là, rete là, viens joindre nous. Seulement, un petit sourire au chaud. Faut que nous là, oh, c'est mieux avec frère mieux, côté nous cassons ensemble, sans aucune malfaisance, pour nous planter maïs, oranges avec l'amitié, pour nous tous sous la terre qui besoin on aller mieux.
You have to go there, stay there, join us, if only with a soft smile on your mouth. Oh, my sisters, my brothers, we are needed there to plant together without any more shenanigans. Oranges and corn and friendship for all of us on earth who need relief. Bravo, Tontongi. Good to have you on board. You've got the floor. Talk to us.
Well, I have a prepared remark, and then I'm going to read a couple of poems, and then that will be it. Bonjour à tout le monde, bonjour à toute assistance, bonjour moun qui parle langue la capitale. M'bral sont bienvenus sur la cour festival Mass Poésie Festival. dans l'État Massachusetts, pour tout le monde, son poésie qui fait dans l'État Massachusetts. Good morning, and thank you to the organizers of Mass Poetry Festival. I was a guest here twice before in the early years. I'm glad to be back and proud that the festival is going strong. Bravo to Aidan Rooney for spearheading this gathering. Thank you to our co-panelists, Domafis Lafontaine and Emily Prophet. Translating Haiti, that's a beautiful title and intent. The question is, how do we do it? What language and affect should we use to render accurately the country's aspiration to freedom and liberation? In fact, Haiti has been mistranslated and misinterpreted throughout her history. At the outset of the Haitian independence in 1804, the ruling classes of the newly free country chose to use French, the language of former colonizers and enslavers, spoken only by small minority, as the language for education and official business, instead of the Haitian Kreyòl used by the formerly enslaved, the masses, and everyone else on the island, creating a situation where the people's voice was never heard, let alone translated. This problematic remains to this very day, with some nuances, of course. Haiti is also mistranslated on the political and geopolitical level. In the early 19th century, Haiti, the first Latin American republic, helped South America gain independence from colonialist Spain. Aidan Rooney explained that the mother of Latin America, that's the way I call Haiti, the mother of Latin America, the island where liberators Simon Bolivar and Francisco de Miranda sought and received help to free their people, be today so ensnared in poverty, underdevelopment, political instability, facing the indifference of the outside world. The most mistranslated reality of Haiti today is the presence and the continuation of a thuggish political regime that Emily was talking about earlier, which the international community treats as if it were a normal democratic government. No, the current government is not legitimate. The current government of Haiti is not legitimate. It is in the process right now of concocting a counterfeit constitution to stay in power forever. Haiti needs the strategic support of her neighbors to get rid of both the criminal kidnappers and the kidnappers of democracy who have her in a chokehold today. In 1821, Haiti defended the independence of Greece. Yes, Greece. Greek patriots turned to Haiti in their fight against the genocidal Ottoman Empire. In a long letter dated January 15, 1822, Haitian President Jean-Pierre Boyer replied to the Greek patriots that given Haiti a budgetary constraint at the moment, he could not give them either cash or men to help, but that the cause could not leave Haiti indifferent. Providing most needed at the time political and moral support to the cause. Many historians report that the President Boyer included a shipment of 20 tons of coffee. He didn't have money, but 20 tons of coffee, a precious commodity at the time, to be sold to buy weapons and other aids for the Greek and the liberation struggle. 2 months later, Haiti became the first country to recognize the independence of Greece. Inspired by the example of Haiti's solidarity with other peoples plagued by adversity and oppression, I dedicate the following poems to the struggle of the Black and Brown in US Americans against the pandemic of COVID-19 and systemic racism. I dedicate it also to the Palestinian people who are at this moment under attack by an occupying power that is destroying their lives and their livelihoods. I dedicate it as well to the victimized Israeli citizens who are being fed the lie since 1948 that their security and well-being depend on the subjugation and oppression of another people. May the world join together to demand the end of Israeli occupation of Palestine, of Palestinian lands. May peace be sought and achieved between the two people. Now I'm going to read a poem. It's about what the current event in the US. I live in the US. I live now in Watertown, and I've been the witness to almost a year and a half of the pandemic. So and also what I call the pandemic of systemic racism. So I was able to see both. So I include both in this and the following poem. The plagues in our time. I'm going to play with a little song in the background.
Just want to give you a little time check, Eddie. Just a couple more minutes. So how long is your poem?
About 4 minutes.
Okay. Thank you.
Our time demands a lot more than resolve and strength. It requires a lot less than survival instinct. Our time takes us to the extremities of poles and the irrelevance, redefining enclosed perimeters. It rearranges space. Our time exalts the unexpected, the unexpressed sense of doom, even for those who choose to ignore COVID's perils in a diabolical reverse of wisdom. Some retreat to the Neanderthal time, free perhaps, but to die in the solitude of the breathing and feeding tubes, in the solitude of empty space covered in absence of all tanks, submitted to law of evanescence. The people came every day to this Minneapolis street corner at the shrine erected since day one to honor George Floyd in memory. It's a matinal symphony of many cosmic events align in the pursuit of a better universe. The people are building brick by brick a temporal affirmation of love, calling for a new humanist covenant. Justice rendered gives indeed such a sweet sense of possible equity. Although George Floyd, the sacrificial lamb killed in a sunny spring day, in the name of private property could enjoy justice charm. May his killer's guilty verdict pave the way for recognition of the unblemished sanctity and wholeness of Black lives, and of all humanity's integrity, along with the respect of our collective right to be and live life unharmed by police abuse. The beauty, you know, the beauty is the constellation of consciences from all Earth's corners, from all Earth's colors, coalesced in the building of a free town. The beauty is the people of all neighborhoods standing together to demand change. 500 years in the making don't make evil less hurtful, nor justice, nor any less desirable in a civilized world. The COVID-19 plague has certainly its toll. Economic collapse, descent into joblessness, the flow of tears, and the specter of death lurking around the corner. The anxiety as to whom will the ambulance come. The sense that the instant may not last, yet we continue to love and hope. Still, was our 500 years of sorrow and heartless deprivation of the soul, the slow continual descent into madness, and yet we always find joy and revive, define the beauty hidden in the darkness. Yet the time demands a lot more than greed and scapegoating, and less than self-aggrandizement. It's a time of Calvary and elation that has asked for higher aims than just the delight at the moment, and a little less than glory, a little less than victory declared in a mile-long cemetery. May the spirits of the fallen in both the social and natural plagues continue to animate awareness and help the sprouting of a new day in the pursuit of a better universe.
Thank you so much, Tonton Guy, for your words. That's going to bring us very nicely to our last reader this morning. Dumafis Lafontaine, hope you're on deck. Dumafis is an artist, photographer, writer, urban thinker, change agent, cultural activist, curator of the Aida Art Gallery in Roxbury. Born in Port-au-Prince, Dumafis holds a master's in leadership from the University of Southern California. His work in Haiti and in his Boston community highlights social inequality. A frequent contributor to Potomita and Tanbou, Dumafis is also an accomplished Rara drummer. On top of all these things, he's also a poet, the author of 2 books from Trilingual Press, After the Dust Settles, Next Practices for the Transformation of Haiti, and the poetry collection, Cric-Crac de Guémont. And I've asked Dumafis to read a new poem of his with me, again in duet, and it's going to appear next month in Haitian Kreyòl and in English side-by-side translation in New American Writing, number 39, the June 2021 edition, edited by Paul Hoover. And his poem is called, I am going to screen share one last time, Un temps pourri. So whenever you're ready, Dumafis, please go ahead and start reading your poem. Say a few words if you want.
Well, I'd like to start by thanking you, Aidan, for this connection. I also want to ask the one who's older than I permission to speak. I'm going to read in Creole, or rather, the Haitian language. Yon temps pourri. Relation doit nourrir pour l'amour pas nourri. Autrement, amoureux ap nan kouri. Jaloux ap kontan ri, coupe qui périt. Mariage pas pateri, même pour la galerie. Pap gen ti moun nan gadri, fami ap petri, la te pap geri ni fleri. Figi ap kontinye kouvri, business pap louvri, anyen pap jam dekouvri. Bag vide ap kontinye febri. Tant pri, pa van vale a vil pri. Ou pa bezwen kon ekri pou dekri situasyon kri wap soufri, dri. Pabliye, Clinton krasi, prodiksyon diri, pou imperialiste kalaite nan la ri. En 2004, bicentenaire Haïti boycotté à Paris, kounye Haïti a tri. Ote bol ble kaema dans l'ouïe, yon tan pou nationaliste, yon contre l'autre, ingri. Jou va, jou vient, inégalité a fini sans parti pris.
Bravo de my fils on now the English. Rotten spell. Love for want of show and tell checks in at the hell hotel that logs among its clientele, couples in a cold spell, polite, aggressive personnel, a gallery that bade farewell, spouses woke on eggshell, parents on their carousel, kids in some remote stairwell, the world in a nutshell, hell hold, unsalvageable. Pro and anti-maskers yell, shuttered stores up and sell, Wall Street's virtual cartel deafens past its closing bell, the doink of an oil barrel. Rice filled, bless you, Bill, deep dipped in the ink well of trade and AIDS, high decibel, swagger of imperial, hell bent, goodwill, all out to quell what ill. No show, just kiss and tell. When Haiti, France's Jezebel, always ailing infidel, fets its bicentennial. If all this sounds swell, lobby for acquittal. Take your blue bowl and tell Madame Larry, la demoiselle, to dispel this rotten spell of raging, plot lost, pitted people, bent on bending arcs from equal.
All right,
so you're going
to
to close us out, Dumas. What a wonderful poem.
Thank
Just a few
you.
words.
Well, I just want to share a few words. And then there is in this book that Tonton Guy's Trilingual published in 2012, there is something I'd like to share with the audience very shortly. I must say that I subscribe to the Haitian school, or in l'école haïtienne, meaning I write in Kreyòl, or what is becoming acceptedly known the Haitian language, since it has a grammar. Some people argue that the language should be called Haitian rather than Kreyòl. I wrote this poem thinking about Emile No, who encouraged the Haitian artists, to really pay attention to the sentiment of the time, if you will. And so I thought, well, what's going on in this world today? And then I thought of writing this poem, which I did. I'm also influenced by Jacques-Stéphane Alexis. When I mentioned that I'm a scholar of the Haitian school, l'école merveilleux, Alexis is credited for this notion of Haïti, le pays du réalisme merveilleux, and he described this marvelous as writing in Kreyòl or the Haitian language, as I mentioned. I also want to mark that Haiti is here. According to Hoffman, Léon François Hoffman, he in his Haitian literature, he described the history of Haitian literature, and he brings it here in the United States, or what is known as the diaspora. So that's why we say Haiti is here. An example of Haiti is here, and I'm sure my fellow Haitians would appreciate that, is the whole idea of cocorat. We see what's happening due to neoliberalism that ravaged Haiti. This whole idea that people live in trash to salvage something to eat, to find some clothes, to make a living, was initiated by the US Army that brought Jean-Bertrand Aristide back to Haiti in 1994, and they went and dumped their trash in Cité Soleil, and there was a song by this popular band called Cocorat. And we see Cocorat here because of neoliberalism. We see people living in trash. It's a horrible conditions. That's what this poem seeks to capture. And then finally, I want to read this one in English. As I mentioned, this book was published in 2012. I hope you will appreciate this poem. Saved by Love. A terrible beast menaced the world. The people were stranded home. The baker sold no bread. The workers were idle. The mailman delivered no writings. Samba's conga went silent. No word traveled. The world stood still. All harmonies ceased. The creature threatened to swallow the world. But there was a little girl without fear. She held love to be self-evident. She approached the monster, gave him a kiss. It turns out the clap wanted to be loved. Thus, the creature changed to a handsome toad. That's my gift to everyone participating in this festival.
Bravo. Thank you, Dumathis. I want to ask our hosts, is this a good time to go to questions, or do we have to go to closing ceremonies? JD or Beth?
They've asked us to generally keep to the time limits. I think if I don't have any personal objections to letting you go a few minutes longer. So if you want to go for 5 minutes, and if people want to stay around, go for it.
Any questions we will take? Beth, do you want to? Maybe one or two.
I do not have a question. I have a comment, if I'm allowed. I would like to praise this format, and also any movement to translate the work from Haiti. I applaud that, because Haiti's, the work of Haitian artists, Haitian writers, is not what people tend to translate. And there is a necessity to do that. We have so much to offer in terms of literature. You know, literature like flowers, you know, like the water, like the sea in Haiti, it's everywhere, like painting.
Right.
And I think it is fair that the world who have access to publication, that they pay attention to the works, literary works that is being produced there. And that was produced before, and now the whole generation of Haitian, the young people, they're writing, it's different. So I am grateful that this is happening to that podium, and also, and I hope that will make people to pay more attention, and they will want to venture there, to explore more, to discover in terms of literature what Haiti has to offer. So thank you again for this presentation.
Thank you for your comment.
modèle.
Will we take any questions from our volunteers? Thank you, Jean-Denis, for that comment. It's a
Merci.
I don't know if Daniel Legros-Georges is still there, but had we more time, I mean, this is one of the great contributions to.
Yeah, I good. Oh, that's beautiful.
Yes.
Okay.
Ida Faubert.
Ida Faubert.
I wanted to give her a quick plug because it's a wonderful translation.
Yeah. No, this is the challenge. You see, we exist out there. We have to produce, and then we have the burden to translate our own work. We need help. We're producing. We are part of this creation, so we want people to pay attention to that.
If I may, it appears that the picture on the book, on Danielle's book, is a painting by Colette Wesilia. Is that correct, Danielle?
Yes, it is. So she's a Haitian American painter and a dear friend of mine. So I felt it was important because to elevate women's voices and women's art. And so thank you. But I so appreciate this panel. I'm somewhere where I can't really unmute my video, so forgive me. Right. But thank you so much. I was very struck by Madame Prophet's comments about, really reflecting the Haiti of today and the difference in experience between Haitians who are living Haiti and Haitians in the exterior. And a thought is how to think about sort of overlapping or further connection. I'm very moved by your statement, Madame Prophet, and very much appreciating your work.
Thank you. This is a very beautiful edition from Ida Faubert. Did you know that Cécile McLaurin-Salvant sings a poem of Ida Faubert, Le front posé sur tes genoux?
Oui, I know it. It's very beautiful. And here's this young Haitian jazz musician.
Yes, she's famous. Yes. She's famous. That's a very, very good writer, Ida Faubert. And this is a very beautiful edition. This is the first time I say it. Thank you. It's a very good moment. I liked very much the text of Dumas Fils and Edith Toussaint Totongi. It was a very good moment, guys. Thank you very much.
Thank you. And you speak such beautiful English, Emily. Yeah. And Dan, great to have you to drop in with us. It's wonderful. Thank you for joining us.
If I may, before I close, I want to point out something. I'm wearing a special shirt that shows a zandolit. Right? So, and this is, this little lizard is an endangered species due to this deforestation. Right?
I'm living I'm living in Thomasin. I don't know if you know Port-au-Prince. It's the mountain around Port-au-Prince, and there is a lot of zandolit. Even in my room, I saw zandolit every day, every night in my room.
And so I wrote a piece about it because if you pay attention at night, you can hear the sound from the zandolit.
Yes,
and I'm
every
saying,
night.
Yeah, and I'm saying the zandolit is appealing to us Haitians to say, listen, you can't continue to cut trees and put my life in danger because we are interconnected. Your lives are also in danger. And because the zandolit now, normally they live on trees. There's a pied bois called bois pini.
Not only the zandolit, we have other animals in danger.
Right, exactly. So we are in danger. And if we need to,
in danger.
Right, we need to pay attention to restoring natural habitat for those endangered species, including ourselves, so that we can preserve endangered species, and by doing so, preserve ourselves. Because as you mentioned, Madame Prophet,
Emily,
right? it seems like death is an occurring event in Haiti. And as my focus has always been on the ecology, climate change, and this is the issue, the defining issue of today. And this is my way of bringing Haiti into that dialogue by focusing on deforestation. The issue for us is not necessarily fossil fuel. The issue for us is deforestation, erosion, and now there's flooding in Haiti, and then there's heat wave in Haiti. So we need to restore natural habitat and preserve endangered species.
We have that experts call menace naturelle multiple, multiple. How do you translate that, Aidan? Menace naturelle multiple.
Natural threat.
Yes, yes.
Yeah.
Well, listen, thank you all so much. And Dumafis, we're in danger of not being invited to lunch if we don't let them.
That's right.
This slows us down. Thank you so much to you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much for having me in this beautiful meeting this morning. I'm very happy. I was happy to be there, happy to meet you guys, Dumafis and Eddie Toussaint, Tonton Guy, and next time you'll be in Haiti, I want to see you. Yes.
Definitely.
You too, Aidan.
Thank you. Yeah.
Thank you very much.
Okay, over to our volunteers to bring us to a close. Thank you so much.
Yes.
1 minute. Before we say goodbye, I want to say thank you. And also, I would like to ask to finish in the spirit of Haiti solidarity with the people struggling in the world. I'm going to finish with the last stanza of a poem I wrote about in 2014. It was yet another brutal attack against the Palestinians. It's called The Terrorism of the Mind. I'm going to read the last stanza. The
poem is never enough. With pleasure.
It's dedicated again to the Palestinian people on their terrible attack now. All is well under the sun until the next rendezvous with Gaza, indignant about his Baboquet, his Muzor. Indignant about the dominant power's hypocrisy and about the logic that accommodates ours. Committed by friends and allies, victorious in the war launched in the huge prison of suffering souls that Anderson Cooper could virtuously ignore. The outrage is selective, because it's Gaza. Gaza, the rebel. Gaza, which refuses to die in silence. The terrorism of the mind.
Thank you, Eddie.
Big up, Aidan.
Yes.
Thank you all so much. Thank you all so much. Can we just get a quick round of appreciation for our panel and our poets? That was really, really wonderful. Thank you all so much for being here.
Thank you.
Yes. Poets, if you have a website or social links or a link to a book or a chapbook that you'd like to share with any of the attendees, please feel free to put that in the chat now so they can support you and read more of your work. And there's plenty more amazing programming happening this weekend. If you're interested in attending more events, please be sure to check out our website. You can also visit the virtual Small Press Fair, listen to the Improbably audio tour, or visit the Ekphrastic Gallery. There's so much to do, so please go forth and enjoy the festival. And please be sure to follow Mass Poetry on our social accounts and sign up for our newsletter if you just want to keep in the loop of all the amazing poetry stuff going on in our state. And any donations that you're able to make, they go to support not just the festival, but year-round poetry programming. So if you're in that position to donate, thank you so much.
Thank you.
And,
thank you.
I think we're all set. So
right.
we'll close out. Thank you again.
Bye-bye. Bonsoir.
Bye.
Everyone. We'll talk again soon.
Sure.
Au revoir.
Au revoir.